Hey everybody, let me get this into full screen. And I'm real happy to see everybody today. It's been a little while and here we go. So I have been doing with you guys the Dress for Health Success, if you've been following. D is for diet, rest is the R, E is for exercise, S we did stress, and today we're going to be doing supplements. So this is the final segment, the final 4 modules of 15 minutes each. These are replacing the classes. So in Paris High School District, we have been doing with the parents now for almost 10 years an advanced nutrition class. And that's what these videos are in replace of during the COVID situation. So today we're going to be doing supplements. I am Wendy McPhail. I'm a clinical nutritionist, a functional diagnostic nutritionist, and I am a national board certified colon hydrotherapist, including a health coach. Today, I do want to remind you that this information is not medical advice, and we're going to be talking here about supplements, and you may want to check this with your healthcare professional that you regularly go to. I'm going to be giving you basic information here. Okay, so I just want to talk about this here real quick. Real food versus supplements. I am a nutritionist, and I believe in real food. Really, I believe in that over taking supplements. I'm not a really big supplement taker. I do go after nutrient dense food. We're going to be talking here in a minute about Weston A Price, and I am a Weston A Price chapter leader in my area, and I really try and encourage people to eat real food. So an ancestral diet are eating nutrient dense foods as our forefathers and ancestors ate is the best way to obtain vitamins and minerals. Unfortunately, the average person thinks they're getting nutrients by seeing added vitamins on the outside of the organic boxed food they buy. Most supplements are isolated and concentrated forms of a nutrient that the body would normally assimilate with other parts. For instance, let's say you take lutein from tomatoes. Normally, you're going to be eating a tomato that has everything else in it, fiber, etc. So when you take a supplement, it's usually a very concentrated form of something that you wouldn't normally get in that way. I immediately think also of protein powders that people tell me always that they take. And protein powders, you can read on the back everything that's in it. It looks really valuable. But when you understand that the food or the supplement or the vitamin has gone through many forms down into this powder, it has to be broke down, and then put into a powder form, you can understand how much value the vitamin or mineral loses during all of that processing. So we really try to stick with food. But anyway, I'm going to go over just my basics on this PowerPoint, and the ones that I highly recommend to most of the people I work with, okay? So many supplement sources for nutrients can also be GMO or genetically modified. I try to warn people about this a lot, especially with vitamin C, also called ascorbic acid. We're going to get into that in a little bit here too. Dr. Weston A. Price, who lived from 1870 to 1948, was a Cleveland dentist. He has been called the Isaac Newton of nutrition. In his search for the causes of dental decay and physical degeneration that he observed in his dental practice, he turned from test tubes and microscopes to unstudied evidence among human beings. He sought the factors responsible for fine teeth among the people who had them. So he traveled. He traveled before there were ever airplanes, you guys. He traveled via boat. The world became his laboratory. As he traveled, his findings led him to the belief that dental caries and deformed dental arches resulting in crowded, crooked teeth, because imagine all the people nowadays using braces, and unattractive appearance of teeth were merely a sign of physical degeneration resulting from what he had suspected, which were nutritional deficiencies. He traveled the world over in order to study isolated human groups, including sequestered villages in Switzerland, Gaelic communities in the Outer Hebrides, Eskimos, Indians of North America, Melanesian and Polynesian South Sea Islanders, African tribes, Australian Aborigines, New Zealand Maori, and the Indians of South America. Wherever he went, Dr. Price found that beautiful straight teeth, freedom from decay, stalwart or strong bodies, resistance to disease, and fine character were typical of Native people on their traditional diets, rich in essential food factors. Weston A. Price Foundation is a nonprofit foundation. You can go to their website, The website is loaded with information. You can find their information on YouTube. You can find it via podcasts on iTunes. You can also find, as I said, their website here, which is westonaprice.org. I really encourage people to go there. If you're elderly and you have health problems, if you're pregnant and you need to know how to eat, if you're a vegan or vegetarian and you're missing your B12 and you're certain aspects of that you're not receiving in your food, please go to this website and read, and please get informed. It is the most wonderful website and compilation of food and recipes, etc., that you could ever need or want. This was his book. It is now a classic. When you go to nutrition school basic, this is a book that is given to you as a basic ordering. You have to have this book in the arsenal of things you're going to be studying. This book has never gone out of style. It's never been old information. Weston A. Price actually technically discovered K2. He didn't know what it was at the time. He just knew that something was different in the food of these people. These natural, these foods where people ate naturally nutrient-dense foods, and they had something that he couldn't figure out what it was. So he used to call it, in the book, he calls it Activator X. And in 2006 or 7, we discovered that Activator X is vitamin K2, and it is the missing ingredient in our food today because our meat and our eggs, they're not pastured any longer. They're not out in vitamin D, and they're not in animals are not grazing on green grass anymore. They're being kept in factory farms and they're fed grains. So very significant finding. Again, I highly encourage his book. The first supplement I recommend, number one, to everybody is magnesium. Of all the supplements to think of taking, it's this. I remember 20 years ago, we all kept talking about calcium, but calcium can end up without K2 in your body, can end up in your arteries as plaque. But magnesium, you can never overdose. You simply urinate it out of your body. So magnesium is involved in more than 600 reactions: energy creation, protein formation, gene maintenance, muscle movements, nervous system regulation. It is actually the base mineral for every single aspect of your body to even happen. Your Krebs cycle, your ATP, your energy production, your female hormones, your male hormones, to produce anything at all, to get DHEA, to get pregnenolone, to get your master hormones, you need to have magnesium. You can't even have healthy adrenal glands without magnesium. So the deficiency is the most overlooked health problem in the Western world today. Magnesium deficiency has been declared a public health crisis by many doctors, clinical researchers, and health institutions. Yet a significant number of doctors, functional doctors, and holistic practitioners do not acknowledge or even recognize the signs. Perhaps one reason is that doctors have become more convinced of disease than nutritional deficiencies. And they don't actually think that these nutritional deficiencies of these minerals could totally bring on these diseases, right? RLS, which is restless leg syndrome, can be a major factor in mental health concerns like anxiety, Alzheimer's, depression. All these things have magnesium as their base. So signs and symptoms of low magnesium. I know this is you guys out there. You're reading this with me. Neuromuscular irritability, irregular heartbeats. You got any little palpitations going on? Laryngospasm, hyperventilation, problems with even swallowing, apathy, mood changes, agitation, confusion, insomnia, anxiety, anorexia, nausea, vomiting, tremors, hyperreflexia, leg cramps, muscle weakness, seizures. Magnesium deficiency has been associated with hypocalcemia, and cardiac arrhythmias. Now, if you have been diagnosed with fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, if you're on any prescription drugs at all, your opportunity of being low magnesium goes through the roof because that's more depleting. The types of magnesium, now here's where it gets tricky. I really recommend therapeutic doses, and that means if you take magnesium by mouth and you take a lot, you're going to get diarrhea. So for most people, they avoid taking a lot of magnesium for that problem. It has a laxative effect. So we want your symptoms to be relieved. And there are many forms of magnesium that will allow supplementation without laxative effect. Dr. Carolyn Dean makes a product called Remag. It is a liquid form of magnesium. It is the best out there. It's taken by mouth, and it does not create the laxative effect. TRANSDERMAL means you're putting magnesium through your skin. And it also is a wonderful way. We're going to get into that right now. Here's what Remag looks like. This is Dr. Carolyn Dean's product. It's on Amazon. It's also on Dr. Carolyn Dean's website, rnareset.com. I think she charges shipping on actually both. Even if you're a Prime member, you still have to pay the shipping. But fantastic product. She also wrote this book called The Magnesium Miracle. It has been revised and updated this last year, I think in 2019. And this book stays on my Audible in my car. I never, ever take it off. It is constantly on recycle listening. This book is packed with information. Previously in my past, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, lupus, and MS. When I started to take magnesium at therapeutic doses, it was one of the number one things other than ozone therapy that actually turned my health completely around. I can't say enough about magnesium. The types. So if you get checked by your MD for magnesium right now after listening to me, they're going to tell you that you are perfectly fine. And that's because blood testing for magnesium and certain types of tests that doctors do not show whether you're deficient or not. Only 1% of magnesium in your body is in your bloodstream, so often you can have a deficiency and it would not be discovered by a common blood test. To improve your levels quickly, I recommend magnesium in more than one form. Magnesium supplements by mouth at 600 milligrams or more can cause loose stools, so if you lower it just below that, it should not cause the problem. I recommend taking magnesium in additional ways, including my homemade magnesium body butter, which I have the recipe coming up, magnesium oil spray, or foot soaks and body soaks. You can use Epsom salts. You can use magnesium chloride, which is basically seawater, ocean water. That's why you come out of the ocean, you lay down on your towel, and you immediately fall asleep and you feel so relaxed. It is the magnesium and the vitamin D from the sun. So here's the types. Magnesium citrate. This is the number one type of magnesium I use as a colon therapist to help people have bowel movements. When people are really backed up, magnesium citrate will usually help you to have a looser stool and help you to have more bowel movements. I don't use it for supplementation much because, like I said, it's more for the bowel opening effect. Magnesium glycinate is a chelated form that tends to provide high levels of absorption and bioavailability and typically considered ideal for those who are trying to correct a deficiency. It has a high bowel tolerance level. Again, I want to say over and above all of these, Remag would be my choice. Okay, the next one, magnesium malate, I like, especially for people with fibromyalgia and rheumatoid arthritis and arthritic conditions. It's usually paired with malic acid, and it actually helps you it helps your Krebs cycle and takes away a lot of the body pains that people have. Magnesium threonate is the big one now. Most people are talking about it. It has a superior ability to penetrate the mitochondrial membrane, so it gets to the brain. And people are actually saying this one's working well for them. Magnesium taurate is a form of elemental magnesium that has been combined with an amino acid called taurine. Taurine is thought to be one of the most beneficial elements in helping to promote a longer lifespan. Research has shown that taurine itself has been able to reduce the risk of heart attacks by up to 80%. Balance electrolyte levels, promote healthy immune function, depression, vascular health, and the prevention of neurodegenerative disorders and migraines have been helped also. Actually, all magnesium supplementation really helps migraines. So transdermal is a way of taking it through your skin. This type of supplementation is called transdermal. It bypasses your digestive tract. So if you have leaky gut, candida, and other issues, you're going to bypass it and bring this in through your skin, making this nutrient more bioavailable without the danger of diarrhea. The body self-regulates and absorbs only what it needs. And to me, this is the ultimate way to replenish cellular magnesium levels. Every cell in the body will bathe and feed on it, and it will even increase your DHEA levels, which is going to, through that, increase your progesterone and your estrogen levels. Epsom salts for transdermal. You can't say enough about Epsom salts, man. It's just the best thing in the world. Cleans the skin, improves heart conditions, boosts your blood circulation, moisturizes your body, retains hydration, restores elasticity, regulates your heartbeats, helps to lower your blood pressure. There's so many things we do. We work out. We like to do Epsom salts after a hard workout. That's another one. Treats asthma, relieves constipation. You can get this mag oil spray I was just telling you about. You spray it on the body. Now, please note, most people are deficient in magnesium, and when they start using especially this mag oil spray, they will call me and say, I am itchy and I have a rash from it. Now, that just tells me that you are extremely deficient in magnesium, and you do not maybe want to start with the oil. You want to start with foot baths or body baths and then work up to the oil. But eventually, this rash, this will all go away as you increase your stores of magnesium. here is the body butter recipe I just told you guys about. You can stop this video to actually take a screenshot or copy this down so you can make your own calming magnesium butter. So right now I'm going to stop you guys and I'm going to go to video number 2 on supplements, and here we go. I'll see you in a couple minutes. Bye-bye.